Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sending Ravens. And today I have Julie from Maison Jupiter. Hopefully I said that right.
That was amazing.
Right on. Everybody might know Julie. She's on Jean-Claude with, Jean-Claude and I have her as, she's also a co-host. Jean-Claude's got lots of co-hosts. And of course, they're always beautiful women. So we're all honored to be on there. Jean-Claude's he's almost like, it's almost like being on a show with, who's that guy? Do you remember Charlie's Angels? Charlie of Charlie's.
Yeah. We're his angels. I love it.
Him and his entourage of beautiful women and really cool guys he has on there too.
Right.
So I'm kind of just teasing. Julie, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Some of my viewers may not have met you on the Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic show. So go ahead and tell us a little bit. How did you get to be doing what you're doing? What brought you even to Jean-Claude's show? How did you even meet him? Just tell us a story.
Wow, that's a lot to start with. Like, I love it. Okay, so a little about me. So I guess I started off as a normal kid. I had a lot of friends. I was really good at school. I thought I was going to live sort of a normal standard life, but I kind of felt from a very young age that I was kind of different from the rest of the people. But I had this kind of intuition that I had to fit in. I had to really make a lot of efforts for it not to show that I was from somewhere else, that I was different. So I kind of, in the back of my mind, I knew I had to learn the ways of the other people to make it seem like I was one of them. So I know that sounds crazy, but this is how I've been feeling for a long time. And now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, okay, it all makes sense now, right? Because we know about star seeds, and I resonate a lot with that concept. Mm-hmm. So I think I had this intuition that I needed to fit in and to learn how the world was working, how the corporate world was working too. I was very passionate about the arts, so mostly dance for me and graphic design. So anything that is like graphic arts, I really love that. I was really good at drawing when I was younger, and really good at dance too. So that were my two passions, and I'm still very much in those two passions. Yeah. I've always been big on creating stuff. I've always been very creative, very artistic. So that was kind of my thing. And so growing up, I was like, okay, so you need to think about like what you want to do, because like you're being told that you have to make money to be able to live. So you're like, okay, so let me think about what I'd like to do. So first off, when I was in high school, I did this sports study program in dance. So half of the day I was doing regular school, but I was condensed in half of a day instead of a whole day of school. And so you had to be like a good student. And in the afternoon, we were all going to our little sports. So mine was dance. So that was like a professional training for becoming a professional dancer. So we did ballet, jazz, hip hop, tap dance, Irish dance. We did a lot of different styles, contemporary. Yep. So that was really cool. But then like I still love dance at that point, but I was like, okay, do I really want to do that like as a living? So that's really different from like just enjoying a passion. Mm-hmm. And I did a lot of some professional contracts, and I was like, that was not what I was expecting in my mind, like as a ideal life. You know, like not being paid a lot and really working your body, and like it's exhausting, physically exhausting.
Yeah.
And the pressure is really intense. Like the pressure was a bit too much. And I am a perfectionist. I forgot to say I'm a Virgo sun, you know.
I can tell you.
I think that's the first thing you said to Jean-Claude, by the way, when we when we started talking at the very beginning, you were like, oh, this girl is a perfectionist. And I was like, well, I'm a Virgo sun.
That's funny. Yeah.
So yeah, being a perfectionist and being like in the professional dance industry is very hard on yourself. So at the end of that training, I kind of had like a little burnout there because I was putting too much pressure on myself, and like the instructors were really hard too. And outside of this external pressure, I was putting so much pressure on myself to be the best I could. That wasn't never enough for me. So I kind of had a little burnout there, and I was like, okay, maybe dance is a passion for sure, but I don't see myself doing that as a professional job. Mm-hmm. So then I went for my other passion, which is graphic design. So this is what I did at first, going to school. So here in Quebec, we have a first professional formation, which is a Cégep. So I graduated from Cégep. So I had like my professional diploma in graphic design, and then I went to university too. So I have like a double professional diplomas in graphic design. So I did that for about 10 to 13 years, I think, graphic design. So started off in agencies, and then was working for a professional sports team. Mm-hmm. And then I was freelancer. So being a freelancer, I think, was like one of the greatest decisions I've made in all my life. So that was kind of my exiting from the matrix, as I call it, because I was like, okay, like I love dance, I love graphic design. These are all like amazing ways of expressing yourself and creating, but doing that in the professional world as it is structured right now, it didn't work for me. I was like, nah, like I want to do more. I want to be able to express myself more. I want to be able to be my own boss because I don't like to being told what to do. And so I kind of decided to I forgot the part where I start be interested in the in tarot and astrology. So that happened before I was a freelancer, and I think it started off as I've been always interested in tarot and astrology, but I didn't really like dive into it really deep at that point. I have a lot of books about astrology, but like I didn't know like the whole thing about astrology. And I was dating, I was like a young adult, and I had this heartbreak at one point, and I felt really depressed. And then I was asking myself, well, what outside of being in a relationship, what would really fulfill me in a really like deep way that I could, something that I could do for myself, not waiting for something external,
Yeah.
So I asked myself, and I was like, oh, I think I would like to learn tarot. So that's the first thing that came to mind. So I found a teacher online. I found a teacher near my place that was doing private lessons, and I was like, I want to learn it now. So that's what I did. And so I was doing that for a few years. I started off as having clients at one point. When I started Maison Jupiter, which is my business, which is tarot and astrology based business. And so I started off doing personal readings, astrology, not astrology. I started tarot.
Yeah.
But then I was like, the other passion that I had was astrology. I was like, I've always wanted to learn about it. So now that I was a little bit more into the woo, I was like, okay, I think it's time to add that little piece to my toolbox,
They do go really well together, astrology and tarot.
Totally.
The more you know both, the better you're going to be at each of them.
Totally. And about that, I heard an astrologer, I don't remember which one it was. She said, if you want to be the best astrologer you can be, you have to learn about everything else that's not connected to astrology. So I totally relate to that. I think, there's the theory about astrology, which is really dense. This is very complex,
Yeah.
but then you have to be able to learn about everything else because astrology is connected to life itself.
Yeah.
So if you want to be good at reading people, reading charts about like events and about humanity, like what's going on in the world, you have to be able to make connections to the news, to other spiritual arts, tarot, psychology, like this. You have to be really to have a wide knowledge, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Did you have an instructor with astrology, or did you just learn on your own?
I have a few instructors. Well, I started off on my own. I read a lot of books and I watched a lot of YouTubers, astrologers. So started off on my own, but then I felt like this is like such a complex subject and there's so many branches in astrology. So I wasn't sure like which one I wanted to explore. So I was like, okay, let's go for like a regular. And I like theory, you know, it might be my sun in Virgo. I'm a nerdy type of girl. So I found a teacher in Montreal that gave like a presential classes. So I did maybe 4 semesters with him. But then I was like, I'd like to find a divine feminine teacher that I can really relate to. So then I found another teacher, which is Lada Duncheva. She has her website, Astro Lada, which I love. And I did a lot of semesters with her, and I really love her approach. She's really like a simple, straight to the point kind of girl. And that's the way I see astrology too. Because at first I was kind of being lost with all the details and all the different type of astrologies you can use. But she's like, simple astrology is the best. Let's go back to the roots. And this is totally my philosophy.
Mm-hmm. Now, today, when you're doing astrology and when you're working with astrological aspects, you seem to take it really advanced because I know how to read somebody's birth chart. And that's the basic, but you've really gone way past the basic because when you're looking at, for instance, the shows we do together with Jean-Claude, you're looking at aspects that are affecting the whole world, aspects that are like what's happening with the sun and the moon, like you're what I call really advanced. So you must have studied it some years to get, or did it just come naturally? Because that's like 25, 30 years of study, just from what I know about astrology.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
How do you explain how quick you picked that up? It could have been a past life, do you think?
Yeah, it's a past life.
A good study or?
Yeah, well, I studied a couple years before calling myself an astrologer for sure, but it felt very instinctual. So I'm very sure. Well, in my chart, I have my South Node in Sagittarius, and very close to it, I have a Mars-Uranus conjunction. So Uranus is the planet linked to astrology in Western astrology. So I'm pretty sure I was an astrologer before, and so. That when that came in, I was like, oh yeah, it felt really natural. And even how complex, astrology is. And I have to say too, we spoke about that in the last show we did on Scorpios, about Scorpio being the intuitive astrologer. And I feel like to be a really good astrologer, you have to use your intuition a lot. So this is what I do usually when we do the shows with JC. I look at the aspects, but I don't get too deep into the technical part of the astrology because I use my intuition as well. Where's the Scorpio in your chart? It's on my IC, the bottom of my chart. Ah, okay. Wow. Yeah. So rules your 4th house? Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, and I've always felt like deeply esoteric and very connected to like the witch part of myself, but it was hidden from the public, which is like the 4th house. It's something that is your foundation, but you do not show to other people. So I have to say, I kind of had a hard time making my spiritual coming out because it's always been a part of me, but like I didn't feel like letting everybody know what I believed in. And like
Yeah.
I was like, this is me, but like, do I really need to share all of it? But now I feel like the answer is yes.
Well, it's got to be a yes, because now you're being watched by a lot of people.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So you're kind of out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This part was like maybe like 2-3 years ago. I was like, I was having a hard time, but then I was like, no, it's part of me, my astrology. I have my North Node in Gemini in the 10th house. So I know I have to be out there talking about astrology and about things I know. So
Yeah. And what about your moon? Do you mind sharing where your moon is?
yeah, sure. I have a moon in Sag, so Sagittarius moon
Sag. Okay. So
in the 5th house. Yeah.
in the fifth, there's where the creativity is.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And Sag, they've been lifetimes wanderers and trying to understand philosophy. They're philosophers. They're like world travelers. They
Yes.
never, like it's past lives where you never really considered yourself. You were nomadic, is what I would say, with the
Yeah.
moon in Sag, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Possibly even like many different cultures, and really attracted to other cultures. So not really just specific to your culture you were born in.
Yeah, totally. Because it's funny. All my friends, or most of them, are from different cultures, and the guys that I used to date were also usually from different cultures. And my dad is from France. My mom is from Canada. So and my stepmom is Vietnamese. So I've always been around like lots of different cultures. And
Did you grow up in Ottawa, or where did you grow up?
Montreal.
Montreal.
I was born and raised in Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah. And is that where you're residing these days?
No, I moved out of the big city maybe a year and a half ago. The universe was like, no, girl, you need to leave, because like I felt the energy was becoming more and more dense, like in a bad way. I felt like I had a lot of signs that were telling me, okay, it's time to move out of the city, but I didn't really know what was going to be the plan for me. I was kind of stressed out financially at that point. So I was like, I don't think I have enough to buy, or, you know, like it was an apartment. So, and I was lucky enough to, it was a cheap apartment. So,
yeah.
And then the universe was like, nope, you need to move. So it was kind of a catastrophic situation, but I managed. So right now I'm like in the middle of the woods since a year and a half. Temporary move, I would say, because I'm still thinking about moving hopefully this year, but very happy here. It's very, the energy is quite different. I felt like as soon as I got out of the city, and I was born in Montreal, and I lived there all my life. So I've been like a big city girl all my life. And since I moved away, and I go back like from time to time to see my friends and stuff, and like the energy is like so dense and so I would say not very high frequency.
Right. Would you consider yourself red-pilled? Like, you know how people say red-pilled? And when did you start understanding that government was corrupt, the Vatican's corrupt, if you even believe that? Like, when did you start cluing into just how deep it went? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm very red pill, I would say. Okay, funny enough, both of my parents are quite spiritual. My dad was maybe like the first one who brought all these ideas to me at a very young age. And by then I was like, stop it, Dad. Like I thought he was annoying. So I didn't really listen to him. But like when for sure I had kind of a spiritual awakening, maybe 2012, 2015, I started doing tarot. So not too long ago. It started off with like detoxing my physical body in 2012. I had like this urgent message to start detoxing and getting off the pill, because it was like bad for my body. So I kind of went to see a naturopath, and I started meditating. So it started that way, more on the physical side. Well, I guess it's a Sun and Virgo thing to do that, right?
Yep. For sure. Yeah.
For sure. And then when the events in the 2020 started, I was already very much into spirituality, but I didn't know everything that was going on in the world. Like, for sure, I knew the governments were corrupt. I knew there was a lot of corruption, but I didn't know to what extent yet. So when the events in 2020 started, like, it feels like it was so long ago, but it's just like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, I had so much time on my hand, like most people. Started researching a lot, and I have one of my friends, Coco, if you're watching, hi. She was sending me all of those red pill video, more on the political side.
Yep.
So that's the side that was missing for me. It was more like the political stuff. Religious stuff I already knew. Like, I didn't believe about religions in a big way. I wasn't really raised in any of it. Both of my parents were like, they wanted to give me the choice of what to believe in, because they were more on the spiritual side. So I kind of knew already that was like a big hijack with the religion. I didn't know the political stuff. So 2020, I started doing I started going down the rabbit hole, but big time.
Yeah. Did any truther in particular take you down those rabbit holes? Like, for me, it was definitely Michael Jaco. Like, that was the first really big reveal sort of videos I was watching him, and then really starting to understand, like you, I was already onto the spiritual, and how organized religion was absolutely hijacked by some kind of demonic entities or something. So I was already onto that, like, even from a young age. But the political part, I was completely naive until the lockdown, the first lockdown. And then it was like, wow, I just started going down the rabbit holes, and Michael Jaco was probably the first lead in for
so
you.
We did that. We did that at the same time. That's funny.
Yeah.
For me, I started with more of the French side.
Oh, right.
So you probably wouldn't know them. People in Quebec, Alexis Cossette-Trudel, if there's some French people watching. So a guy from Quebec, he's really deep into the political stuff, Mr. T and all that stuff. At first I was like, really? But but then I kept watching lots of different people, lots of different videos. And like, something inside of me was like, yeah, that makes sense. Finally, something makes sense. And like, I knew our government was really corrupted, because I started my spiritual awakening with more of the health side of things. So I researched a lot on hormones and on the pill, on all the chemical products that they use to treat in Western medicine. So I was already very much aware, and nutrition too. Like, this is a big one. And there's I don't know how to translate, the guide alimentaire, like what you should eat. And it's like the Canadian government that sends you like a little PDF, and it says, oh, you have to have like lots of meat and lots of dairy products. And I was like, that's such bullshit. So that part for me, I kind of understood how corrupted our elites were with the health and the nutrition part first. So when, like, I knew the other part about the political side, I was like, yeah, of course.
Of course. Yeah. It starts to make all kinds of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it would make sense, you coming from that angle, being a Virgo, because of course Virgos are very concerned with the physical body self. Like, even when you're studying astrology, there's ways to understand, what people's focus is going to be. Sounds like that was a big focus of yours, what with dance and movement and physical body movement and all of that. So Virgoian.
Yeah. And funny, because my sister and I were both Virgo suns. And she's starting off being a vegetarian before me. And I was like, like, I thought I was weird at first,
Mhm.
But a lot of Virgos, if you have like a strong Virgo placement, most of them are a vegetarian or a vegan at one point in their lives because they're really concerned with health and not in the natural way. It's not like taking medicine and like chemical products in order to stay fit. It's more like going down the natural path.
Yeah. Literally using food as your medicine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Sure.
I believe in that 100%. Like when people, like after that, I was looking at people around me and they were like complaining about different health issues. And I was like, this would be so easy to fix if you only treated yourself right with nutrition. But I think this is the hardest thing to change because there's such an emotional connection to food. So people don't want to let go because they're getting pleasure out of those. And I totally get it.
Yeah. And also it's hard to relearn things like, just like I was brought up a certain kind of cooking and then to try to relearn your whole cooking style. I'm a Taurus, so we do things over and over the same.
Yeah. Tauruses, they love good food. I
got my 5 things that I cook really well, and that's it. Yeah. So it's hard for sure.
Yeah, I think that the sign that is the hardest for like being more disciplined in the health department is Tauruses.
You bet. You bet. Oh, yeah. Today I shoveled. By the way, it's snowed a record amount of snowing last night in Calgary, Alberta.
Oh, yeah.
Literally this much snow on top cars and houses and trees. It's all melting, of course. It's very warm, but it's snowed. And I shoveled outside and I was working so hard. I worked up a big sweat and that was like, okay, that's my exercise for the day.
Yeah, I do the same. We had this much of snow, so I didn't have to shovel, but I feel you. Yeah. When I do, I'm like, okay, I'm done for the day.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, with the dance and you probably keep it, physically pretty agile looking to me. So I'm sure there's all of that kind of cool stuff. Also the yoga, didn't we see that you did some yoga training, or you might even teach yoga? Isn't that what I didn't?
I wasn't teaching, but I did a lot of yoga in the past years. Yeah. I just kind of was very busy with work since December with all the videos we started doing on YouTube and all the work. So that was very exciting, but I kind of let go a little bit of my healthy routine, yoga routine. So I have to find that back.
Sure. Yeah. So it was quite an interesting, isn't it a bit of an interesting story how you ended up getting to know Jean-Claude? That seems to me that might be a really cool story, but you don't have to share it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool though, because now you ended up like, did you foresee yourself or did you go seeking to be a YouTuber in such a big way?
I kind of started my YouTube channel, but like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because I was scared kind of being more in the public eye. I wasn't like, I have to say also my Chiron is in the 10th house in Gemini. So I kind of had like some past life issues of being silenced in past lives, like as a witch or as a healer. So I knew I had to be out there, but I was kind of scared at the same time at first. So I did start my YouTube channel, but I did not foresee at first that I was going to be maybe more like that public as I am right now. And what's funny is that I think it was in beginning of last year, I started watching Beyond Mystic because I was following more of the ET community. And then Jean-Claude did an interview with Elena Danan. So I was like, And when I saw this interview, that was so funny because like, obviously I recognized that his first language was French. So I was like, we're probably from the same neck of the woods, But more than that, like I felt like we knew each other like from a long time. So I was like, I know this guy. Like he felt really familiar. And then so I followed him on Beyond Mystic and I started watching the lives that you and Jean-Claude do every Monday and Wednesday. And I was like, I know these people. You guys felt so familiar. It was funny. So at first I was just watching, and like a lot of people, I think it was a really good remedy for like mental health, harmony and equilibrium
Yeah.
because of all the things that were going on in the external world. So I was watching the lives every Mondays and Wednesday for a while because I felt that I finally found people that were thinking just like me about everything that was going on in the world. And I really liked the fact that you guys were bringing like the truther part with all that was going on in the world on the political side, but with the spiritual side.
Yeah.
So I didn't find that a lot in other truthers. So I really connected with both of you. And as I was watching you guys, I was seeing myself being with both of you. And I thought that was crazy at first because I'm not that kind of visual person. Usually I don't really visualize stuff in advance, but when I do, usually it's because it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was kind of seeing myself being with you guys, and I was like, oh, like I must be dreaming, you know? Yeah. And then I messaged Jean-Claude because I don't remember what it was, but I did send him a message about something else.
Yeah, I think it was when we were going to do that show. So we were going to do the show where we had, I forget what it's called now, but he's had to put it off because so many things came in the way. Anyway, he was working on a show, and I think you heard about it.
Yeah, I think I had a question about that because I wanted to participate. And so I sent him a message. And so anyway, I think I put my my YouTube channel in there and blah, blah, blah. So I might have said something like, oh, if ever you would like to, someone's knocking on my door. Okay, thanks. If you would like to do something like a collaboration ever. So I didn't really expect him to write back.
Yeah.
But then he wrote me like, oh, would you like to do a video conference? I would like to talk to you. And I was like, and then we did talk. And the first thing he said is like, okay, I watched like a video on your YouTube channel and I know you. And I was like, yeah, I know. Wow. We know each other.
Yeah. Wow. So past life.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely had a past life feeling with Jean-Claude as well. It's really interesting. And wow. Since I've been working with him, I've put it all into order, sort of. We were maybe children in the tunnels together, seems to me. And so there's this weird protective between each other. I think he was a younger child than me. So I have this weird protectiveness about him. But at the same time, he has that sort of, he's very protective of people he knows, and he really wants abundance for them. Yeah, I've got all of these. Whenever you have feelings about people and really strong emotions and you barely know them, there's always a past life related there.
Yeah, you're right. And I think like, if I remember correctly, when we first spoke, he asked you about me. He said, oh, like, I don't know, like I feel like we know each other, and you pull cards and you were like, yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, there was definitely karma there. And that's usually how people end up doing things together. It's like karma brings you together. I almost don't have anything to do with anybody unless intuitively I feel like I'm supposed to work with them. Like if I'm not, it's not personal. But if I don't have work to do with them, I'm not, spending time. I'm really funny. So if my intuition goes, yep, you got to work with that person, then I do, like, because I've got something to learn. I've got something to heal. I've got something to work out somehow, or it's just going to be a good connection. Because sometimes it's just reconnecting with people that, you've known before. And that can be a really nice thing. And it can be really difficult sometimes too.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, having a past life experience doesn't mean that you're meant to work together. Sometimes it's just like karma to work out, relationship-wise.
into, we're really giving everybody a mini reading based on their charts, their rising and their sun sign. And it's, I don't know, that I think is when we're doing some really good work.
You're right. I feel the same. And every time you have something to say, I'm like, this is exactly how I see it. And I'm like, oh my God, I get super excited because I feel like I don't know if we're connecting on the same energy. I don't know how weird it is, but it's crazy. It feels very complementary, like astrology and the tarot. Yeah.
It's like taking it from the same source somehow and just saying it in different ways. So it gives people a real rounded vision of what's coming.
Yeah. And it's not like I follow other tarot readers, other astrologers, and it's not because you're very intuitive and connected that you're going to be able to connect it with world events and like know all that you know and all that we know. So for me, it's like, it goes even deeper. It's using the spiritual tools, the intuitive tools in order to understand our world better and to really fight this spiritual war, you know?
Yeah. I think we all agreed to this time, and who's ever's working together, whoever ends up working side by side in this, that we're meant to be, is what I figure.
Yeah, totally. I felt like, because a month before I started doing videos with you two, I remember this moment. I was in my spa and I was looking at the stars and I was like, okay, my guys, I'm ready. I'm ready for my next chapter. I'm ready to do what I came here to do for my mission. Yeah. And it's just like unfolded so quickly and in such a big way. And I was like, oh my God, like I was like overwhelmed with all the emotions, like the speed of it too. It was crazy. And then at one point, JC, like, I think the first week we started doing videos, he was like, well, you have one of your guides that's telling me, well, she asked for it. Why is she surprised? So I'm like, and then I remembered that moment. I was like, oh yeah, I did ask for it.
Yeah. I've done some ritual around opening up to what my path is in a really big way. I did a few different rituals, and it happens so quickly. And as soon as you agree, look out, they put you to work. I got put to work and been doing it and nonstop ever since.
And I feel like another part of this is letting go of what's blocking you from going into that next chapter. But once you do, and you're like, I'm ready, bring it. It's like, wow, okay, be ready and be careful what you wish for.
You bet.
Yeah.
So let everybody who's viewing know where they can, like, we're going to have your particulars below and your links below, but let us know, what are you doing these days as far as connecting with the audience? Like, are you, I know you're doing those beautiful charts, so you're doing that. Are you doing tarot readings as well, or astrology readings? Let us know what you're doing.
So now I have on maisonjupiter.com, I'm doing personalized birth charts. So these are digital products. It's like a nice poster that you can print and frame. So I did the print and frame mine. I really love it. Because at first I was looking for a nice birth chart that I could frame for myself, and I couldn't find like one that I really like with the color that I like. So that's why I came up with that idea. Yep. And it comes with a 15 to 20 pages report with explaining all your important alignments and planet placements. So this is what I'm offering on the website right now. And I'm doing a lot of those during the day. So my intention is still to put out more YouTube videos on my channel, on Maison Jupiter YouTube channel. But I've been really busy with that. Yep. And my sister, Sophie, is doing the tarot readings for Maison Jupiter as well. So she's the one doing the personal readings, and it's tarot. She's really good. And we started off working together too with tarot and astrology. And we're like, wow, this is such a great combination. It works so well. So that's what I'm doing these days. And so planning on adding more videos to my YouTube channel, but also we're going to start doing the school, the Beyond Mystic Academy. So working hard. Working hard on that. too, because I did have almost done my tarot course, which is in French, and you have the tarot course in English.
Yep.
So we're going to put both of those on the academy. So yeah, that's the next big project that we're going to have. And I forgot to say on maisonjupiter.com, we just launched the candles, the magic candles.
Oh,
too.
yeah, that's right.
So these are crystal infused candles, natural candles, and my lovely friend Elena makes with lots of love and lots of magic into it. So yeah, we just launched it, and the launch was amazing. She's overwhelmed with orders. She's really happy, both really happy.
Of course she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, and I'm so happy
Ready.
for her too, you know, because like when you're making this big transition into a full-time witch for full-time woo, sometimes it gets hard. So I'm happy for her to be able to help her along the way, you know.
Yeah. So we're at that point in the chat where I like to offer a reading for yourself. It can be about anything, like any topic, personal or for the world or world events or your own personal questions. It can be about romance. It can be about anything, past lives. So go ahead.
Oh my God, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it could be a 3-parter. Like we can do a couple of looks at a situation. So just let us know what you want to talk about.
Okay. First, I thought about it a little bit earlier today. I'd like to know if you and if we've had past lives together.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting. First card. So we've got the Magician. So we were likely doing things like magic. And then we've got this Page of Cups. So a surprise emotional situation. We've surprised ourselves emotionally, surprised ourselves. Hang on. Let me keep looking here. We've got the 7 of Pentacles, so working on something. So we were working on something magical. So we might have even been studying as youths together. So we might have been in some kind of magical school together and spent some time studying, but we were quite young. So we might have been put in the magical school really young. So yeah, because then this was in the past. So working on something together. So we were put in some kind of magical school where we did a lot of literal working, like I feel like I'm getting a feeling like we were even making tinctures. We were studying astrology. So all of the arts were there, all the esoteric arts, but we were studying them all, which would make sense why we work really well together.
Oh,
because we might have had the same roots, because that was one of the experiences I had when you and Jean-Claude and I were on a show together recently. I think it was one of those special reports. Yeah, it was. And it was was it the Scorpio one?
Or I think it was the other one, social media. Yeah, or Age of Aquarius.
Yeah, it was the Age of Aquarius. All of a sudden, I got a feeling you guys are speaking exactly my language. And that's what this looks like. We spent time in a magical school, so an esoteric college of some kind or school. And we were young and we were doing it as students together. And I feel like we were even off. This could have been off.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Just before you pull that card, I was going to ask, was it on Earth or off Earth?
Off Earth. Right away, this came as the result of it. So I feel like we weren't even on this planet.
Makes sense.
We were in some kind of school, maybe preparing to work, in today's situation. Because if you think about it, here we are. Jean-Claude brought us together because both of us ended up working with him. So we met each other from that way. You know what I mean? And then these are the overview cards. So that could even be him, because he does have a Libra moon. He's in Aries, but he's got that fairness of Libra to him. And he's sort of the go-between that brought us together. He was likely at the school too, come to think of it, because I had that experience with you guys. All of a sudden I was like, oh my goodness, we've studied this very thing. The way you were speaking about things had the very same philosophy I had. So we must have been in some kind of school together.
That makes a lot of sense. Oh my God. And because the first show that we did, I looked at your astrological chart and I looked at mine together. Yeah. And I noticed my son was directly on your descendant in your chart. Oh, so which is like, we're very complementary, like we complete each other in the way that what we're here to teach and what we're here to share as information. So I thought that was.
And that does start to really show up when you watch us work together. I'll say one part of something and then you'll get the rest with how you're picking it up, either with your cards or the astrology. It's like the whole picture gets clearer. So it's fun when we come together with people like that can really finish the picture off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And even with words, it was so funny last time. You were like, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? And it popped in my head. And usually when I'm the one speaking, I'm the one looking for all the words, because it's not my first language. Yeah. So, and I was like, reckless. And you were like, yeah, that's exactly it. So funny. Yeah.
It's funny because being on a show with Jean-Claude, it was really fun for me because my mother's French. Yvette Doucette, or Doucette was her maiden name, very much a French woman, but of course lost it all because lost the language. She could understand it, but didn't speak it at some point because she moved to the West. And of course it wasn't encouraged to speak French. Unfortunate, very unfortunate. Really, I never explored at all this lifetime, but always felt this kinship to. I mean, look at my name, Janine Morageau.
Yeah. When I first saw that, I was like, isn't she French? Janine Morageau.
Yeah, totally. It's great.
So cool. And for us too, I'll speak for myself. It's very funny to be doing all those things in English because it's not my first language, But at first I was trying to do more French videos on the channel. Yeah. But as soon as we started doing the English stuff, and it really, it was it exploded a little bit. So
yeah. That way, all the Americans can watch, the Australians. I mean, I'm sure that the French language shows you guys do are really popular too, though.
Well, we have to really build this audience because he started off with Beyond Mystic being only English, so. Yeah. But I think it's going to be a work in process building this audience, because I think in Quebec, spirituality is not as advanced, I think, as it is anywhere else in the world. Mm-hmm. In France, there is a lot more YouTubers about those kind of topics that we're talking about, but not as much in Quebec. So I think there is a need there, but we still have to build it.
Right. Good. Well, I'm glad it's you two doing it.
Yay. I'm glad too. And it's funny because for him, he's he feels more comfortable doing the shows in English than French, even though his first language is French, because he's used to all the terms, the ways to interview in English. So every time we have a show in French, he's he's a bit stressed out. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that is funny. Wow. Well, this has been really, really fun. Is there any parting words you'd like to give to the audience here in parting?
I'd like to say thank you first, because I'm very honored to be interviewed by the great Janine. So happy to be here, honestly, and to be able to find the community that thinks just like we do. For me, it was such a big like a relief to know that I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
Because we felt so isolated from our friends, our families in the last 2.5 years, that finding this online community and finding you and finding JC and all the other people on Beyond Mystic and people watching you too and watching Beyond Mystic, it's truly like we found a family. And for me, it was very like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's overwhelming, but it's in a good way, in a very good way. So I'm very, very, very grateful for that.
Right on. Well, we're really grateful we found you, Julie, because you really complement the show and of course, all the endeavors that you do on your own. It's not just about the show, right? It's like finding a gem.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
a Virgo gem. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Bring in all the details, because like that's the part I never bring. And some people, are grumpy about that, but it's like, I just can only do what I'm good at. So having someone who's got that detailed mind is super important as far as I'm concerned, because I'm the big picture. So to me, it's like, it's a great compliment to the work I'm doing. And
for sure. And you're bringing the intuitive part, and you're the channeler, and you have like, you're bringing your gifts. So I think it's such like a good, like a teamwork that we're doing all together.
Yeah. Teamwork. Exactly. And the community is just blessed with your addition. I'll just say that.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Coming from you, it means a lot. Thank you.
Right on. Okay. We'll say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for listening.